I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi, guys.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome. We are the Little Fires After Show. We're excited about today. This is episode 4, The Spider's Web. I'm Kay Montgomery, a lover of all women-centered dramas, and we got a lot of that today. I want to introduce you to my illustrious hosts and panel. First up, we have Trina Dom, who's a fan of Reese Witherspoon and has been since election.
Yes, what's up, what's up?
And then next up, we have Chef Beans with the Mental Cuisine. Check it in. And then we have Mons, fan of Reese since Cruel Intentions, and Carrie since Save the Last Dance. Those are some receipts.
Yeah. Yes. For both those women.
Yes.
Seriously.
So episode 4 has Mia and Elena. Huge confrontation. They're going to have it out. BeBe needs $30,000 to lawyer up. And then Tripp and Pearl have a little experience. So you guys' overall thoughts on episode 4.
I will start, guys. Again, 55 minutes of packed, absolutely everything that could have happened, and more. We heard from basically every single character yet again, and I can't wait to pick it all apart.
Yeah.
What do you
think?
I think that it was a.
Gosh, you go.
I think it was a very loaded episode as well. I like how they kept us on the edge of our seat, and even methodically how it's called, like this, the web, because we saw how everything was just tangled together. And people were just trying to get it together. So I'm ready to dive in as well.
Last episode 3, there was a lot of action. So of course everybody was like super into it. The action was very minimal, but it was so good. It was still so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, oh man, okay. So it's called The Spider's Web. Chef, you talked a little bit about everybody kind of intertwining, but I was thinking, who's the spider and who's the prey in the web? What do you think, Trina?
No, I think everybody's stuck in the web. Everybody is a spider trying to attack everybody else. And the need to survive has just kind of hit on overdrive because now everybody's starting to get found out. So they're all crawling all over the place. That's what I think it is. I don't think anyone is not in danger, and I don't think anyone is undeserving of being sought after either.
What do you think, Chef? Sorry.
Spiders.
I'm sorry, Kay, you asked me?
Yeah, but I missed Monty's comment.
I was just saying that I agree that there's multiple spiders.
Multiple spiders, yeah.
No, I mean, I think I didn't think of it that way as far as like there being multiple spiders, but we see that both sides, whether we dive into Tripp and Pearl both playing both sides of it, like who can't get Pearl? I digress. Even the mother's hashing it out, kind of basically Mia not being afraid to reveal her cards, but we're also seeing Reese. And everything is just exploding. I don't even know where to start. I'm like,
I thought it was really interesting how Mia busted Elena out like you thought we were friends. Do you guys think that Elena really thought they were friends? Trina, I see you shaking your head.
Sorry, couldn't control the reaction.
I love it.
Don't think anybody thought anybody was friends. I think that they each thought that they were controlling the other one so hard that the other believed it. But they are just now kind of having the same argument with each other. Well, aren't we friends? Well, aren't we? We weren't this and that. And it just, they're butting heads at this point. It's all lies. Everybody was lying.
I loved that scene where they're discussing whether they're friends because it was so intense, but there was no screaming. None of them was like, yelling or freaking out at the other, but in their eyes, it was such a tense moment. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought the same thing. I thought it was really interesting how Mia said, I came here because I was protecting Pearl from you. And you just see Elena like, what? Because of course, she thinks she has a perfect home. Why would you need to protect Pearl from me? What do you guys think that Mia's like angle on that was? What do you think that she felt like she had to protect Pearl from?
Turning into someone that she didn't raise her to be, I think.
Right, and also, I guess trying to protect her from this false sense of reality, because she looks at their household as far as like privilege. They have what they have, and we had to kind of fight to get everything we have. At the end of the day, don't forget that you're a Black woman. I'm raising you to be able to protect yourself as most Black mothers do. So I think she was just realized that she didn't want her daughter, like she didn't want to stop her daughter from going there, but she always wanted to keep a close eye on her. That's at least what it seems like, but who knows if she had any other deeper, darker secrets attached to that, because
yeah, I just think it was really interesting to see that play out and to just have Reese finally be able to say, you're a terrible mother. I felt like, oh, she's been wanting to say that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I think Mia's been waiting for her to say it to her too. Mia knows that that's how she feels. So it's just kind of like, say it to me, do it. Tell me the truth. Say what you feel instead of these sweet fake comments, because Mia knew they weren't friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, they both know they're not friends. They both are playing with each other. It's so great. It's the same, but yet so different. It's just so great to see them across from each other, being the same type of person in a different situation in life.
There you go. So much of the same, but then like opposite spectrums of the same thing, right? So what did you guys think about the conversation? Well, the point in the conversation / argument when she says you didn't make good choices, you had good choices.
I'm just glad she said it, because I was worried that we were going to sit there that whole argument and Mia wasn't going to pop off at all. And so because I just didn't know why we were all being so calm. Like you said, you liked that we were calm. I was waiting for someone to be real and push it to that level. And so for her to come back with that was way better because it was calm and well said. But, it had to be said because that's the truth. And I wasn't even thinking about that during this argument because I was too busy watching ping pong, but like a mild game of ping pong. So it was amazing that she said that because it's so true. And it really makes you think harder about the differences in their situations and their statuses.
She said it. She dissed her in a very respectful way when she said that.
Yeah. I wonder if it gave I wonder if it gave Elena any pause. Like if later on that worked on her. I mean, you could see her husband already said, you obsess about her. So she's constantly thinking and, what does she think about this? And I should have said that. And I'm sure she like rehashed it. But I wonder if any of it really got to her.
I think it might have been hard for her to even understand what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's so stuck. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't even think she took the time to really process and digest it because of this privilege / pedestal she's been on so long. So whenever someone tries to check her, she waves her little magic wand that she has, like, oh, whatever, and goes back about her everyday business. That's what it seems like Elena does in every situation. The only situation that we saw she couldn't really do it was with the media situation, which we saw how that blew up. I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but I feel like that was a time where she was just like, how did my
I felt like she was surprised that she couldn't do it with BeBe. You know, she went in with the check. She tried charm first. You know, I know you're a good mother and you did the right thing and you just tried to do right by your baby. And BeBe was like, I don't want your money. You wouldn't sell your baby. Get out of my face. I was really surprised because BeBe really does not have a lot of, she didn't really have a lot of hope at that point. It wasn't like Mia had given her the money, you know, but she was still like, no. Were you guys surprised about that?
I thought it was funny that she acted like a little brat at the end, but I wasn't surprised because I think what we're supposed to be taught in these scenes is that family is very, very important to everyone, to every culture and to every status. So for her to offer money, I think she's made it pretty obvious that all she wants in this world is that baby and she doesn't care about anything else.
Yeah, now that I agree, now that she's dragged into the situation, there was that scene where she says to Mia, like, why did you do this to me? Why did you bring me to this point? Because it's true. When I saw that, I was like, it is Mia's fault. And now that she's in this position, I wasn't shocked that she turned down the money. You know, now that she's there, she's like, well, here I am, thanks to you.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, why did you tell her? Like, you ruined her life. Like, she was heartbroken, not that she would have gotten over it, but now she's miserable. This baby is so close to her, and she realizes what it's going to take to get this baby is going to be nearly impossible. Yeah, I think it's just to show once again that, like, you know, polarization, manipulation, just like how Mia is really, like we talked about last time, just out of pocket. She really doesn't think things through. She just is very impulsive. Yeah.
I'm also noticing. I'm sorry. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm also noticing like how they're portraying womanhood on so many different like angles, because we see how Elena deals with womanhood with her husband. Like, she has the bigger voice in these episodes. Just how Mia flexed her womanhood muscles with her boss. Like, this is what needs to happen because like they're just kind of shooing them away. And even when we get to the kids, we see how the girls are just portraying themselves and the boys are still on the going like up. I don't know. I'm just noticing how they're showing that the women have the strings when it comes to these little or big fires. So,
yeah, that is really interesting. I mean, that's the benefit of having a woman-centered narrative, right? Your women's opinions and values are always gonna take up the most space, which I particularly like and think is awesome. I also think that our fans are awesome, our super fans of Little Fires Everywhere. Do you have a message for those people, Chef?
Yes, absolutely. We just want to say thank you for tuning in and supporting us here at AfterBuzz TV. It means a lot to us. If you're currently watching us on YouTube, please leave us a 5-star rating. If you're watching on iTunes, give us a thumbs up. Wait, vice versa. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. iTunes, give us. But no matter where you're at, leave us a nice juice comment because we appreciate it all. AfterBuzz has given us confidence inside and outside of the studio. So we appreciate you for tuning in. We have a lot more of this episode to dive into.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off of comments, we got tons of great comments last week and the week before. I just want to give a shout out to Jamie Patrice, Tate Destiny, Deshane Tillman, J. Darion Star, Culture Queen, and JR, which were our commenters, giving some really good comments and great compliments to all of us about our breakdown of these past week's episodes. So I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about BeBe's situation. Do we think that she has a case?
Do it, Monty.
Okay, I feel like there's two different questions. Does she have a case? Should she go after her?
Do both, Monty. Give us both.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that the adoption papers hadn't gone through. When they gave us that tidbit, I was like, oh, that now things just got gray, real quick. But she did already make a choice. And I don't know if she should be able to just change her mind on something like that. You know, if this child hadn't been adopted and was currently somewhere in a situation not with a family that had been trying, like when they show you that she gave birth to a stillborn baby, you're kind of like, dude, is it fair to take her away from them? You made a choice, and that's where I struggle. I don't know if you could just get to change your mind like that.
Yeah. I think that you don't get to change your mind like that. I think that you did something pretty awful. You left awful and good at the same time, right? You left your baby stereotypically at the fire department to know that they would take care of it and something good would come of that. And so someone that has the means could raise this child. And so you knew that you couldn't do that. We've seen all of the struggles. She currently even struggles just to make ends meet for herself. And so I think the only positive thing that could possibly come out of a situation is if the family was nice enough to allow her to see the child. But I think that's the maximum that she gets, unfortunately, given what she did. And I don't think any judge would say, give her back. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Right, yeah. No matter how you decide to like dissect this, she still left an infant outside in the cold. Like, I have no empathy for that. I'm sorry. Like, I have no empathy for that. I feel as though, I think we're all saying the same thing. Maybe visitation hours, maybe later on, maybe in some other parallel, but as far as now, no, I don't care what they say on the news. She tried to buy the baby, whatever narrative they're trying to paint, there's just certain ways to go about it. Even storming in the house like that, trespassing. Everything about this whole situation was just wrong to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like, man, just Mia and Elena, their roles in this are ruining everything. So Elena coming with the $10,000 was ruining everything. And then Mia giving her the keys and letting her just storm the house was the bad part, you know? I feel like in maybe some alternate universe, if she would have found out about Mei Ling and then, you know, could have come to them in a different way and been like, can I visit her? But that's not what BeBe wants. She doesn't want to visit her baby. Like, she wants that baby, which is really interesting. Like, a baby as your property, kind of like, because she's like, it's my baby. It just reminded me, like, you know, I used to play, I don't know if you guys, when you were young, used to play with kids in the neighborhood, and then we used to play kickball with man's ball, and then when you get his ball, and you know, it's my ball. It really it feels a lot like it's my ball type of deal. Like, yeah, like, think about the baby. And I feel like, though, it seems like should be cut and dry, but I think it's gonna be a lot messier because they are getting the media on their side. So they're painting the other family to look like kind of this shady family that tried to pay her off and keep her quiet. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know.
They started to control the narrative.
Absolutely, we got that too, but also looks how Mia talks about Pearl. You're my daughter. BeBe says, that's my child. Because you have people who are struggling to obtain balance in their lives. So when it came to the thing, they actually control the things they give birth to, they feel like that might be their only prized possession. So I think that's why they're using the language that they're using, because in some reality, what else do they really have? That's my, I don't, these bills, whatever, but that's my daughter, that's my child. You can take this house, you're the landlord, but you are my daughter. So I think that a lot of that narrative comes from, because we don't see Elena really talking like that. It's kind of like, you know what's up, like you are my children, I don't need to say it. For some reason, Mia and BeBe feel like they need to say it, because it's like, what else do they really have in their minds, at least?
Yeah. Did anybody think I thought it was crazy when it was only $10,000 for some reason.
Like, I was like, oh, maybe she can use that money to get the lawyer. But then she slid the 10. I was like, wow, and y'all trying to lowball her?
Exactly, so cheap. Add another zero. Like, what are you talking about? $10,000.
I think that was to show how BeBe that's a lot for her.
Yeah.
I think, but I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, you guys, come on. But I think it was to show us that they thought she has nothing, and this is more than enough.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been quarantined with my kids all week. I probably would give one of them up for 10,000. 2 for 1 up in here. What? So we see Pearl. Man, we see Pearl really in the image of Elena, because when her and her mom start to talk about it, she's like, they can't just take her baby back. That's that lady's baby. And that baby's gonna grow up in a better home. And you can tell that, oh my goodness, Mia is just like, what? So were you guys surprised by that, by Pearl's stance on the whole BeBe situation?
No. That's the normal stance. No.
Yeah.
I feel like Pearl had her mother's daughter for a long time. But now that she's at this school, where she's probably hasn't been at any school this long ever in her life, or around these group of people, she's just starting to embellish a different style or quality of life. And I think that's kind of ping-ponging other decisions. Like, what type of people would take that from there? No. And then we see the other decision. She just wants to be a teenager, a normal teenager, and have feelings, emotions. And I think that's why we start to see Pearl unravel the way that she is.
I think another thing that is really interesting is the continuation of the daughter flip. So how Pearl leaves, and I'm thinking she's gonna go over to like apologize to Moody, or I don't know, try and cozy up to somebody, but she was really there to see Elena. And like Elena mothers her and gives her PJs and basically tucks her into bed. And then the day before, we see Mia leave a ring on her bed, on Izzy's bedside table, and you know, Izzy's kind of being an apprentice to her for art. So what do you guys think about that whole situation, kind of the daughter switch?
I think that it's lucky for Izzy, just in the sense of having someone calm her anxiety a little bit, I guess is what it is, or her hatred toward her household. And so I think it's good for her. For Pearl, I think it's both sides aren't doing great things for her at the moment. So I don't know. When she ran to her house, I was actually pretty surprised. I didn't see that coming. I just saw her locking herself in her room and crying. Maybe I did not see her taking off.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Elena welcomed her in and let her spend the night. I was like, girl, do you want to fight me? You know she gonna come looking for her child.
That's what she wants. Yeah. She just wants to show that she's winning because she's got all the kids.
Right. She's got, everyone loves me. I'm the best mother. Look at all these kids coming to me. Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's like, yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like.
I wasn't.
Go ahead, Tripp. Go ahead.
Oh, no. You go.
I was just saying, I thought that was a very Elena. I didn't believe Elena did that out of the goodness of her heart. She did it to hurt Mia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was nothing genuine about that at all. Just kind of like, this is privilege. This is balance. Yes, I have a spare room for you, and you can sleep cozy. But that's what Pearl was running to, because there's been so many inconsistencies in most of her life. So that's why I feel like she was just running towards this safe haven that she created in her mind. But she had to know her was pulling up. Like, you know your mother is not going to let this rock out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, especially because Izzy was saying, you know, her motivation for a lot of the stuff she does, you know, Mia was asking what's her process. And she was like, well, you say I'm just trying to piss my mom off. And I was like, what kind of artist, girl? Get out here. So I just thought that was really interesting. And then, you know, that's what Pearl's doing. She's trying to piss her mom off.
You're right.
So it's like, these girls, like, come up with something original. No. But I think Pearl really does want to be a Richardson. I think deep down, she really wants it all. She wants everything they have. The privilege, the money, all of that. So
she's at such an age, like, we forget how old they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, when you're that age of a teenager, you're going to see these sparkly things
Right.
and just grab at that and try to take it. And her mom's not handling it well. So if her mom was handling it well, she may not be so addicted to needing it, but her mom's just blowing up every time. And that makes you want to do things more when you're a teenager. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Do we forget? That's how it works.
Yep, you get that reaction. So let's get into.
You just dropped the bomb.
What? What'd I do?
Oh, okay. So then let's get the Tripp situation with
Go ahead, Kay.
Tripp and Moody. And when Moody said, "You'll never get a girl like Pearl in a million years," I was like, "Oh, buddy, have you met your brother? Like what?" Oh, I was just like, "Oh, yikes!" Okay, we all saw it coming.
I thought Tripp was gonna go crazy on that comment, but he didn't.
He did.
And so no.
Right.
That was the oddest part, is that he wasn't seeking revenge with that whole situation, I don't think. I think he was just doing something that he does, but he wasn't trying to go after him or anything.
I agree, because in the next, he was trying to teach him his ways. He was like, "Listen, go to the party, ignore her." He was trying to put him up on game. And I thought for a nanosecond that he was going to take it, because he did go to the party. But then what did he come to the party with?
A book of poems. a book of friend poems.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that friend zone coming from.
Yeah. I feel bad because she keeps saying things like, well, this episode was enjoy your night or whatever. And then the last one, okay, we'll watch the movie. It's just so rude. And he's always being so nice. And so now she's not even being his friend. And I think it's really mean.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Pearl in this episode was the one who I disliked the most because of her choices. As much as you want to blame Tripp, obviously you're going to blame him because it's your brother, but he wasn't asking for that.
No.
He was not.
He was not. And it's like, Pearl, girl, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm gonna jump on Pearl's side real quick. First. Okay, let's bring it back a little bit. So Pearl is what, 16, 17 years old. She's around a bunch of girls who are seemingly have these normal lives. They dressing up like Spice Girls. They're going shopping. She's never experienced anything like this. And she has a high school crush, as everyone has crushes. So whatever, they end up studying, and she made a move. There's nothing wrong. It takes two to tango. Tripp also flirted as well. Regardless of him saying, "Oh my God, what did I do? I was just being human." What type of vulnerability is that? What? I was just being human. I was being a teenage girl.
I blame Tripp for it.
You do?
She was
Why?
the one being sneaky. Pearl is not being genuine. How could you not see that?
Listen, I don't blame Tripp because Pearl seduced him. From the moment she sat next to him in math class, she was like, "Yeah, that's the richest that I'm after." She was waiting for him to get a poor test score to be like, "I can help you with your math."
Truly, the only thing Tripp did wrong is what he did to his brother. But other than that, Tripp.
But what teenage boy is gonna say no? Did he say no in the middle or after? Well, I guess right after he was like, "I can't do this." That was a weird conversation. She was like, "Did you do it?"
After.
Did we do it?
So I know Moody is going to want to be upset at Tripp, but I'm like, man, it's really she really had it out for Tripp from the get-go.
She plotted all that.
Yeah. I don't think Moody ever had shot. Poor Moody. I'm realizing now, like when she seduced Tripp, I was like, oh, Moody was never in the picture at all. Bless my heart for being naive and thinking that. Yeah.
It's been poor Moody since day one. Day one.
It really has.
That's what I'm saying. Like, friend zone. He's always been in the friend zone. Pearl's just being an independent thinker, a free spirit. She just wants to have her own life. And I don't know.
Wait, no, that's not why I was saying Moody was in the friend zone. I was saying it because she has been like, she knows that she's got Moody wrapped around her finger. She knows it. And he doesn't really know that. He just thinks that they're friends. And she's manipulating the situation. So that's why I say poor Moody. You can be Team Pearl all you want, Chef.
What does she do to manipulate friend zone self? What did Pearl do to Moody to manipulate the situation?
She just keeps going. She just keeps acting friendly, but we know who she's trying to get to. She wants to be hanging out with the other two people. She doesn't want to be hanging out with him. And now that she's got that, she let him loose. And we saw it at the Halloween party. She was like, have a good night. And you're like, what is she saying? She's not going to see him the rest of the night. They're going to be in the same place.
When she said good night, I was like, oh, well, pocket papers. Thanks for this little book of poems, and I'm gonna write some poems. Like, I was just like, wow.
Thanks for the book of poems.
And yeah, he got friend zone. So, oh my gosh. But she did, like, it does not take, Stevie Wonder could see that Moody had feelings. Like, he was just, she knows. I wonder how much of the sex with Tripp is not transactional for her, but we know that she has a crush on Tripp and blah blah blah. But like, her mother has already told her, like, sex is just a means to an end. It doesn't have to be anything serious. So is she gonna be heartbroken about Tripp, or is she just gonna be like, whatever, and she's on to the next?
I think she probably just feels like this didn't go as easily as mom says it goes. And because now he's ignoring me, so this wasn't the right way to do it. And clearly after she was like, did we do it? Was that it? Because all she wanted to do was to have it done once, now that she can move along and do it whenever else.
Yeah. And Lexi made it sound so glamorous. She was like, this is not as glamorous as I thought. Oh. Which that was interesting that Lexi and her boo are still together. What do you guys think about that?
About Lexi and her boy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing. A boy is like, oh yes, a girl who wants to sleep with me? Yes. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Forget about the thing we fought about. It's cool. You want to keep doing this until we graduate? I'm good.
Which is hilarious, because he's all mad at her at first, because he woke. So he like, I can't believe you would let me use your thing like this. And, she's using you and, But as soon as sex came up, we haven't heard anything else. He wasn't even in the next episode. Yeah.
What do you think about that one, Chef? I want to hear what you think about her and her boyfriend still being together.
Like we said, it's high school stuff. Like, yes, we're standing up, or thought he was standing up for something, because let's just be honest, he is probably a small percentage of black people at the school. Even though he's the quarterback, you can tell he still faces certain prejudice things. So now you're dating another a popular white girl who sometimes shows her privilege maybe passively. He just never seen it as overtly when it came to someone else of color close to the family. So he tried to stand up for her, like, hey, don't forget that you're black. Like, whatever they're dangling over you. So I got his angle where he was coming from, but he also maybe was a virgin. Now we have these things that's intertwined, it can blur things and make them forget, okay, if she's not going to fight for what I'm trying to fight for, then I'm not going to fight her battles, especially when I got sex now. So I'm not surprised at all, nor do I fault him for it. He's just doing what any other 17-year-old would do in that moment. He's about to go to college. That's fighting for someone else in that doesn't seem like something that's on the top of his priority list.
Yeah. Everyone has so many circumstances. All of them.
All these rebels, like I said, the women, it's the women who are in control of all of this. It seems like all the men are the pawns. Every man who's been portrayed so far seems like a pawn to someone else's. None of the men seem like spiders. We talk about none of the men seem like spiders. I think all the men are already in the web. The women are the spiders.
I think those husbands are spiders on the low. I think those husbands are spiders. They know something's going on with them.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna find out.
And Tripp is definitely a spider.
They haven't showed anything yet to me, at least. No.
We'll see.
We find out that, or what we know, they're talking in bed, and then Elena clips the Lilith Fair article and leaves it for Izzy to find. So I guess that's her way of saying, like, I know you're gay. I'm okay with it. I don't know. What was the note? She just said, I thought you might like this article. So kind of passive aggressive, but what did you guys think about that? She seemed pretty upset with her dad for telling her mom. What'd you think, Trina?
She should be upset at her dad. Her dad is the only one in that house that she could trust until now. So that really sucks. And also, it just goes to show that Elena has mostly no idea what she's doing when people are within a world outside of her own. Like, that was crazy. I was like, does that really say that? Why?
I actually thought that, not the opposite, but I was glad that he told her. I was like, how are you in a marriage? You see your wife drowning, trying to understand this kid, and you're not going to tell her what you know? Like, I was like, he's got to, confide in her. It felt like, he understands more and emphasizes more, and I felt like they didn't have a conversation about that. But I also feel like Elena isn't the kind of woman that you could tell anything. You know what I'm saying? So she's not going to come to him like, well, why do you think she didn't want to talk to me? She was just like, I don't know why she would want to talk to me. Everybody talk to me. And he was just like, okay. So, but I thought, especially for a 1997 suburban, upper class mom with no experience with anything gay, I thought she was handling it pretty well. Like, I thought that she was going to come out and be like, oh my gosh, what is everybody going to think about our family? I can't believe you're doing this. Everybody's going to be talking. What was a Miller say? I thought she was going to do that whole thing, but she didn't. So I was like, let me give her a little bit of credit for not being, like, over the top and overtly, so little credit. What'd you think, Monty?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you that I wasn't upset by it. I thought it was she thought it was probably the best way to approach it. Kind of like an olive branch. It's like, listen, we don't have to talk about it, but I know, and it's okay. So I totally agree. And I'm not mad at the dad either. I'm with you. It's like, I think that they had to communicate about that. Like, you said it perfectly. You see your wife drowning in this relationship. Of course, naturally you'd want to help it, So I didn't blame him, and I thought the gesture was simple. It showed their type of relationship, that it's not a great mother-daughter relationship, but it also showed like an olive branch. Like, it's all right, it's cool. I can be a fun mom. I'm cool. I'm him.
Is that how moms show that they're fun and cool, leaving articles on pillows? Crazy. No way. If I know Elena has tried different ways to cope with or like communicate with her daughter, but leaving something on the pillow like, hey, we can do this as well. No, I think she could have did a different approach. Maybe, I don't know, meeting her at the dinner table, something, but just her daughter walking in, which she already gets bullied at school with things hung up on her locker and people saying passive things, to walk into that, it's like, damn, I can't even escape it in my own household.
You don't think she would have felt like that if she approached her to talk to her about it?
I think it could have been just a
I think at this point she can't win. You know, the relationship is so far gone that it's really hard for her to say anything to repair it. Because when she came down and told her dad, you know, she knows or whatever, he was like, she doesn't think any different of you. And she was like, yeah, it cements what she's always thought of me. And it's like, dang, she can't, like, you know, when you've already had a relationship and it's in such disrepair, then you're at the point where people just assume the worst of each other, even when they have the best intentions, which is like unfortunate at this point, you know. Yeah. But Trina, we're ready for your special segment.
Let's do it. Okay, so I love the 90s. Y'all love the 90s. And tonight we were graced with a Halloween party in the 90s. We had 2 posh spices, 1 scary spice, and I loved every second of it. I want to know who you would all be if we had a Halloween party in the 90s right now. You first, Monsi, tell us.
All right. Well, when I was young in the 90s, I was posh. Whenever I dressed up as a Spice Girl, I was posh. But my favorite costume that I had during the 90s when I was a little girl, I was a gypsy, but not like Esmeralda from Hunchback. It was just like a typical gypsy, and it was my most favorite costume. My mom put like on my bandana. It was like the best thing. I even won best costume that year. The only year I've ever won.
Hey, that'll do it. What about you, Chef?
If in that era of the 90s, I probably would have been maybe Will Smith from Fresh Prince. I really enjoy watching Will Smith. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I probably would have went that angle. Something where I could have been able to wear a flip hat and a gold chain. It was something about that era that I always wanted to just emulate. Absolutely, just walk in, the four finger rings, all of that. Something in that capacity. Maybe Nino in New Jack City. I don't know if I'm really taking there.
What about you, Kay?
I would have definitely been Aaliyah. I'm sure I was Aaliyah at some point. So right now, yeah, definitely Aaliyah. I love Aaliyah.
I see that. I would want to be either Tia, Tamara, or Blossom. And that'll probably be a frequent answer from me of all these 90s things because they're my 3 favorite 90s people. I love it. Because it's that hat. But it's those girls, those little flip with the flowers. Too good. Too good to pass up. Thank you guys. That was fun. I'm excited to keep doing 90s things all season.
Yeah.
Monty, you got some news for us?
I do. Listen, y'all. In this time in our world, it's very scary. Joshua Jackson, he is expecting his first child. He's 41. He's expecting his first child, and he's super nervous. It could happen any minute. It could be happening right now, by the way. She could pop any moment. So they're a little bit nervous, but he was talking about how Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon have really helped him prepare for being a dad. They helped him with doctors, OBGYNs, connected him with everyone that they felt was worthy of helping him during this whole ordeal with his wife. They're very nervous, but he's like, I'm in good hands. They've taught me well. And not only have they taught me well, but they're the perfect example because they are women who are mothers who work in the industry. And I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. So you always, want to believe that they're best friends. And I think they are. I think they all love each other, which is great. Also, speaking of relationships, Kerry Washington came out and she's talking about how she does not talk about her love life. She is married to a former NFL cornerback. His name, I hope I don't butcher it, Nnamdi Osumau. He is a former NFL quarterback, and you don't know anything about them. She feels that she doesn't want to just talk about the good, like she only wants to talk about the good stuff, and people want the details and the juice and the dirt and this and that. So she decided early on her relationship is not a topic of conversation. So my question for you guys, do you think celebrities owe it to the fans to reveal information about their life because they've taken on being a celebrity? Do you think that we as fans deserve to know?
No. I think that people are gracious with their lending their lives to us, and they will give all that they want to give. But someone like Josh Jackson, Kerry Wash, people are, following them on the streets. And so I think they're allowed to give whatever they want to give, and what we don't know, we don't need to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think we ask anybody else. Like, we're not asking the mailman, like, so what's up with you and this mailman? Like, y'all up, I heard something about y'all kid. Like, we don't ask any other professional that, but like acting such a strange profession that we feel like we can and we like have access to that. So yeah, I agree with Trina. I think no on that. Yeah. Do you guys, we're gonna do predictions for episode 5. We'll start with Chef. What are predictions for next episode, Chef? What do you think is gonna happen?
Predictions for episode 5. I think we're going to see more of Team Elena get more flowers, because we saw how things started to spiral out of control, but she still is who she is as far as with the media and the PR. So she's going to find some type of way to spin this story to where BeBe still left her daughter outside of the fire station. And I think it's just going to get harder on there. And I don't know what the living situation is going to look like for Mia and her daughter, being that their landlord, the antagonist in her life. So I just feel like those two things are going to be big topics in the next episode.
Yeah, what do you think, Trina?
I think we're going to learn a lot more about the love triangle of Moody, Tripp, and Pearl. And I sure hope so, because next week, Jordan Elsass, who plays Tripp, will be on the show. So we can ask all the deets on that. Hey. So I'm really hoping we get some love triangle-ness on the show and then bring him on and see what his point of view as a viewer now of the show is. So I'm excited for that.
That's going to be so fun. Monty, what are your ideas? What are your predictions?
So I think the whole story with the baby, I don't think we're going to get too much. It's going to be little by little. So I don't think that's going to progress too much this next one. I think it's going to be the family dynamics. I think we're going to see Pearl and Mia have another sort of breakdown with each other. And then the Richardson family, right? That's their last name, Richardson. Mm-hmm. We're going to see them also have issues. And I'm going to go back to my prediction from last week. Moody and Tripp are going to fight. And they're going to fight in a public place, because that's going to embarrass that family. So they're going to fight like at school, at like a pep rally. I'm calling it. Maybe not episode 5. They're going to fight, because Moody doesn't know what happened. When he finds out, hoops come off. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so devastated even thinking about it, you guys. But I think you're right, Monty. I think it's going to be a showdown. And I am really interested to see how that unravels, how he's going to find out. I also think that Elena is going to go more in detail about, I don't know if she's going to be prying and asking more about Izzy and being a lesbian or whatever, but I think we're going to get some nice cringy moments of Elena being like, are you gay because we let you watch that one TV show? Like, I think it's going to be a lot of like super cringe. Yeah, so I think we're going to get more of that, and then just finding, and then Moody is just going to find out. Yeah. So that's super exciting that Trina was able to get us Moody for next week. So that's going to be awesome. All of our super fans, make sure to check out episode 5 with us next week. We thank you guys so much for being with us. I'm going to outro my panel. Let's find you.
We're a little frozen, so I'm going to say, y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at HeyTrinaDom.
Awesome. What about you, Chef? Where can they find you?
You can find me at chef_beans with a Z on all social media platforms.
Awesome. What about you, Monse?
You guys can find me across social media at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos.
And I'm Kay Montgomery. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at hostkay, HOSTKAY. And we will see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.